please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of the minutes, March 6, 2023.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Pierce,
Second.
second by Commissioner Robbins. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Same sign, motion opposed, most same sign. Motion carries. Words, no proclamations, nothing. Nothing under public hearing. We have a bid opening at 5:30 PM. Devils Lake City Project 230201. That's water main 28-23 and water main 29-23 water main replacement.
We've received one bid. The first and only bid is from Kemper Construction Company. Their contractor's license is included. Check to see if that's a bond. And they're bonded. So their bid for the bid sheet PE alternate, $2,687,426.50. I'll read that again. $2,687,426.50. No bid on the RJIB/PVC alternate.
We'll make a motion to refer it to engineering to review and next meeting. I think that works. Yep. Next meeting.
Motion by Commissioner Robbins to refer to engineering,
Second.
second by Commissioner Pierce. Any discussion? All move, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Visitors and delegations, we have with us the Devils Lake Airport for a project update and funding possibly recommendation. So the manager is Scott Cruz.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me here again tonight. As you're aware, we updated you last meeting on the projects we have going on out at the airport. After going through all the financing and whatnot on these, we've come up with a shortfall, and we're here to beg, borrow, or steal from the city if we may. We'll go through the costs here real quick. If you guys, I think, all have these spreadsheets. Items 1 through 14 are the actual, the projected and actual costs of the design and the development of these projects, and the difference in the cost. On 1 through 14, we actually ended up spending $212,000 less than was initially projected. And then we got into items 15 through actually 31, were the items that were originally on our capital improvement program. Some of these started out, I think it was in 2020, when they initially put together our revised capital improvement program. And then after I don't remember exactly when it was. It was in 2022 sometime. They updated the terminal expansion project. Originally, I think we were at like, I don't know, it was like $4.5 million. And then after they found out that there was a school being built, I believe it was West Fargo, that came in at $500 a square foot. They upgraded the estimated cost of our terminal expansion project to $6 million. And the passenger boarding bridge, they had it $1 million. Most of the rest of that stuff is in line, except for the apron and taxiway reconstruction project was initially projected at $1.7 million. And if you look in the next column, the actual bids that came in on like the taxiway apron project was $3.1 million. Terminal expansion, $10.398 million. Boarding bridge, $1.936. Those are the biggies, the big three that kind of put us out of the game. We've trimmed something like, I don't know, 12, 14 projects down to 2. And the sticker shock we got when we got the bids on the terminal have kind of set us back. So anyway, we're looking at requesting some funding from the city and the North Dakota Aeronautics Commission. We're going to have a shortfall of about 2.253 million, 2.254, I guess. We've got a verbal commitment from the State Aeronautics Commission to match half of that 2.54 million in order to complete our apron project in taxiway. So we're kind of coming to the city to see that if we can get a commitment from them. The aeronautics is so far verbally committed. We'll still have to go through the grant application, the process and whatnot. But speaking with Kyle Warner, the director of aeronautics, he's pretty confident that they can come up with the money now that they've gotten this prairie dog funds in their budget. So it looks real positive. So that's kind of why we're here tonight, to see if the city is willing to kick in on these projects so we can get them completed.
I'd like to add one thing.
Dennis, would you want to come up to the microphone, please? Thanks.
Actually, with our CARES money, we've already bid and Strata has accepted $598,000 for part of the apron taxiway project, which is the taxiway closest to the terminal and the apron. And that still left us with this 2.253 as a shortfall. This project was initially developed back in 2019, was with a federal grant. We've already spent about $98,000 on development design. So the project is ready to go. We're just looking for some financing.
So you're looking for a little over 1.1 million?
Yes.
I guess I was thinking we were going to have a discussion on Friday at the infrastructure meeting.
Yeah.
So I guess, are we looking for a final decision tonight, or
No.
is that something that might evolve out of that?
So could you just enlighten them as to the timelines that we're working on under Scott, as far as when you need to have an answer to the North Dakota Aeronautics Commission?
Yeah,
And then I'll
the aeronautics grant applications have to be in by April 14th. Of course, I would like a little time to get it put together prior to, but we did tell Kyle that we would hopefully have an answer for him, by early April.
Yeah.
So it's not a terrible big rush, but,
It's hot.
yeah.
Their commission meets in early May to go through all the grants and obviously.
1 second, Shane.
statewide.
Commission, okay. Yes.
So President Moe, members of the commission, so and just in, talking with Scott and Dennis over the last couple of weeks, just knowing that there was these circumstances, it is due time that the city updates its own capital improvement plan. I think the last time we did was about two years ago. And, given this, it would be strategic if we did update our own. And so knowing it was coming and in the effort to make sure due diligence is done with respect to the processes that are currently in place for our own capital improvement planning. And we have an existing capital improvement planning review group, which is the mayor and then the city engineer portfolio holder, as well as city engineer, myself, and if necessary, utilities directors and public waste supervisor. And so hoping we scheduled a meeting for Friday this week, where we hope to kind of take full consideration of all of the city's revenue streams, whether it be Prairie Dog, sales tax that we allocate for infrastructure, our obligations as far as projects that we have in the pipeline, projects that we as a city hope to complete ourselves, as well as what we transfer to our financing accounts, where we have a number of bonds that we need to pay off that we transfer money to. And so I want to take a grand picture of all the city projects, knowing that this request is out there, and initially preparing for Friday's meeting and the conversations on the city plan projects with Mike, just kind of informally, I suspect that should the commission want, or should the commission seek to fulfill the request, that we should have the strategic flexibility to do so. But I think it's really important that we see on paper the city's priorities, what we have as far as revenue sources projected out over a long term, and then we can view that in a big picture where this project supporting it could or could not be a part of that. And then I think, administratively and procedurally, I just recommend that we do that as part of the renewal of our own capital improvement plan, and go through that process like we would, every 2 years that we normally do.
Commissioner Hamry.
Just a couple of things to add there, Mayor. With this project and possibly backing the airport, it's a pretty good buy, looking at all the billions of dollars going into it, and possibly just a 1.1 from our pocket. And on second, if for some sad reason we do lose the airport, we lose a lot. We're not going to have any businesses coming here, because an airport is huge for business and everything else. So my professional and personal opinion would be to get behind this project.
Okay, thank you for your input. I think the idea is maybe just table this to our next meeting, maybe we could have a decision by then.
So I
Would
think
that be an issue if that was?
So I think, yeah, a good recommendation would be to, take this, as well as all of our city projects, to the capital improvement planning group, where we'll take a look, we'll review it. We'll bring that to the commission on the April 3rd meeting, of which then the city commission can make a decision as to whether or not they want to support. And then I think if at that April 3rd meeting, that should give you enough time, if it's a go, to get the paperwork in hand.
And if for some reason it feels like it's got to be done sooner, it wouldn't be out of line to have a special meeting, I wouldn't think,
No.
if it had to be done sooner than the 3rd.
That'll give me 10 days. And we'll get it. We'll
Feel
get the
okay?
grant out in that time.
Okay.
Okay.
And the part of and you explained it very well, Spencer, but the thought was if we're going to cut something to free up some money for this, let's just talk about what we might put on the side burner or whatever. That was the thought behind it.
Yeah, and talking, with Mike throughout the last couple of weeks, we have the city has its 100%, 100% we got to go projects and those things that we would like to do. But if we had to delay a year,
Well, we got a
we
$3
can-
million project coming up here too, so
Yeah,
that's pretty substantial.
so we've got a lot of things to consider. And so I think it's really good to sit and look at all of our revenue projections over the next 5, 6, 7 years, as well as obligations. So
Okay, should we do a motion to table it, or do we just table it?
I think just considering the request and saying that we'll talk at the next meeting, I think is enough.
Okay. Well,
That worked very good. All right,
thank you, gentlemen,
Thank
for
you.
presenting.
Mayor,
Yes, sir, Commissioner.
just one more thought on that with the airport. I know it's 1.1 million, but we've dumped 500,000 into an activity center just at a whim. So, the airport's just as crucial.
Yeah, I don't think anybody.
I don't think nobody's arguing.
No, we
that.
just wanted to approach it with a little bit of a game plan more than anything.
Since this is,
Yeah.
but to have an idea what our major expenses are is also a good plan. So I think that we'll be more comfortable if we spell out everything and everybody's upfront about with what we have upcoming for the next few years. Okay, thank you. Let me get back to my next. Commission portfolios. We will start with Commissioner Pierce.
Okay, so we got some radio updates. We went over and talked to Stone Radio. We're looking at 6 to 9 months lead time on radios.
Thanks.
And we're trying to get our portables ordered so they fall in line with when we go online, so we don't run out of our warranty. That being said, the Siren radio build out for us isn't until end of 24, early 2025. So we're looking at a few things with the radios. The batteries and the chargers are a year to a year and a half out. So if we're gonna get batteries and chargers, we're gonna have to look at ordering them fairly soon. And then depending on the time frame for the radios, we're gonna have to look at possibly ordering those fairly soon. The only other thing I have tonight is our software, our emergency reporting software. The current software that we have was bought out by ESO, and we've heard nothing but price hikes are coming. So we started looking and researching different softwares. We narrowed it down to ESO or First Due as our potential softwares. First Due actually gets us a little bit better software platform to use. It's cheaper and it falls in line with that CAD system that we're getting. So that was the route we were gonna pursue as far as our software, so.
We're forced to make a change. We had two options, and the cheaper one also, in our minds, provided the better service and integrated with our current system as well. So we're going to move forward with that.
It usually doesn't happen too often. Get the
The
cheaper
price
one.
hike they did was
Terrible.
terrible.
I have that
Terrible way to
paperwork
do
if you guys
business,
got
I'll tell you.
questions after the meeting.
I was just gonna ask on the radio thing. What is the modest price for a radio you're looking at? Just, if you don't know, that's fine.
$4,500 or so,
Okay, what was Siren gonna reimburse the entities?
1,500.
1,500?
Yep.
Okay.
But I believe there is some talk in the legislature about upping that. I believe, I don't know that for
Really?
sure, but
We may have to look into that when we're there this
That's-
next couple of
that's
days.
just some information that gee whiz information that we heard about, so.
Who are some of the legislators that are involved in that? Do you know?
That
offhand?
bill, I have no idea. That was just brought up at the chief's meeting. The Siren radio guy
Okay.
kind of maybe said there might be some potential funding for the radios in the future too, so.
Okay,
We have, Wednesday is the next Ramsey County Fair Board meeting I'll be attending. And other than that, that's everything.
okay. Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Robbins.
In engineering?
The only things I'm gonna touch on the water main project. We met with the State Water Commission last Thursday, pre-meeting for cost share on that. Met with them, spoke about it. I think they're looking at a $1.335 million cost share. Their final approval will be on April 13th. So everything sounded good, but until you hear it, it's not there. So
Were these numbers kind of in line with what you expected?
they're close. Our estimate was 2.2. And that one's at a little over 2.6. So we'll send an updated cost estimate to the State Water Commission, and they'll look at that when they look at it during the meeting. So we'll get that to them here tomorrow. They can look at it and hopefully get that approved in April. And then 14th Street and 14th Avenue project, final plans were submitted today. That project's set to be bid by the DOT on May 12th. So that, as far as I know, that's all we've got, so.
Anybody got anything else for engineering? Streets, anything?
Streets, we just have, we've got 2 job openings, entry-level position, and then our seasonal work, temporary work just posted today. And then we'll be putting together some information for street supervisor, public way supervisor. Hopefully start advertising that soon.
It has been asked many times this last week about the widening of College Drive. Has there been any talk of getting out there and blowing some of that out of there or scraping some of it?
Talked to them today. It sounded like they were planning to do that last Friday, but a blower went down.
Okay.
I didn't hear anything more today on if that blower's up or not. So they're hoping to kind of hit some of the big ones and widen before we get hit again, hopefully. So
Thank you.
That's the plan anyways, as far as I know.
Thank you.
All right, that's all I have.
Okay. Commissioner Knapp.
Anything from sanitation?
Sanitation, only thing is, we got a job opening there as well. Entry level position, just posted today, so. That's all I got.
Rob?
I got a couple things. First thing, I'll just update on the domestic fowl committee. We're just waiting to get a draft of the ordinance done before we kick it out to the committee and set another meeting. I'm hoping that we can get that meeting within the next week or so. I'm still grinding away on trying to figure out everything specific to our technological failure that we had. Just trying to get everything done that I need to for the Board of Equalization. So really prioritizing those items. I have asked Vanguard for a proposal on what it would take for them to come on site to potentially help with updating some of the missing information. We had 308 commercial properties where we're missing all the improvement information off those properties. The timeline on that is probably going to be pretty extensive as well, I'm thinking, but we'll wait and see what they get us, so then we know what our options are. And then next meeting, I'll have a couple of exemptions for the commission to review. Other than that, that's all I've got.
Okay. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Ron. Commissioner Hamry.
Anything for utilities?
Nothing to report for utilities.
Short and sweet there, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for being online, Commissioner. Okay, Chief.
I need to get some clarification as to out-of-state travel when it comes to investigations. It may be spontaneous for traveling out of state. And so I was talking to Spencer, and it's just to bring it to your attention that we did have somebody that did travel out of state for a rape case that we were looking at. So
It's not really a discretionary decision. Police
Well,
officer had to go, so.
Yeah, well, see, we've always had to approve out of state, but I can understand where,
It
do we
was-
have to have a little amendment to some of that to allow
I
certain circumstances?
I think the
Or is-
fact that, it's a legal matter, and it just happens to be out of state, and the officer can't choose not to go to that, right? And we can't choose not to send them, right? So,
Yeah.
so we said, hey, you gotta go. So
Well, I agree. I mean, I'm not wanting to argue it. It's just that,
I think whenever we have the opportunity, we're always going to give the heads up and the approval to the commission. But if we do have to pull the trigger quick, we'll try and inform portfolio holders and the mayor as quick as we can and just
fair
do the
enough.
best we can.
I think that's fair enough.
okay, that's all I have.
Okay, thanks, Chief. Spencer.
Just a few quick things. We've got the new website is up and launched. Really user friendly. I want to thank Devin for all the hard work he did. Almost
great.
pretty much single handedly did it himself over the course of the last year. And so I want to thank Devin. I think I said it last meeting, but exemplifies, I think, a lot of city employees that we have. Does a lot of things outside of specific job description. Doesn't complain about it. Brings a positive attitude. So thank you to Devin. Thank you to all of our employees that bring that attitude. You might hear a lot of talk in the national news about banking and some of the instability that we're seeing there with Silicon Valley Bank going default, as well as Signature Bank. And I think that there was some a buyout of another bank here today. All of our city investments, our CDs that we have through Edward Jones, are under that 250,000 FDIC insured. So I had a conversation with Tom, and our investments are they are safe and secure. So we don't need to worry about the city losing out because of a bank fail, because we have our CDs at a bunch of different banks to try and get the best rates. So just wanted to assure you guys of that. Spoke with Mr. Cruz from the airport, and the 1.7 million from the FAA. If you guys remember, we gave a $2 million line of credit to them for some of the contractor payments with all the projects that they're going on. That reimbursement is coming. We're working on a couple of things regarding our SAM registration, as there's nationwide issues and people trying to renew those. So should hopefully have that 1.7 million here pretty soon. And then lastly, I would just say, for those of you guys that maybe haven't heard, that the emerald ash borer, which is pretty deadly to all of our ash trees, was found in Moorhead. And so it's made its way all the way across the country. Had a really good meeting with the mayor and Commissioner Pierce and some other public stakeholders that own land in the community, and just to kind of gain awareness, and really looking forward to working with the Shade Tree Committee as well as the overall commission on how we can act strategically and proactively to make what could be a really painful experience a little less painful, and do the best work we can in advance of that coming here too. As you know, most of our canopy trees are green ash trees, at least the tall ones, because they were planted a long time ago. So really looking forward to working with the Shade Tree Committee and the City Commission on that. That's all I have.
Thank you, Spencer. Jack?
Just a couple, not a whole lot. The domestic fowl ordinance, we have a main draft of that. We just got a couple provisions to add based on our last meeting, and so should have that done this week. Drafting ordinances, especially like the domestic fowl one, can sound pretty basic, but once you start reading it, you have to be able to think of the questions people have and the different interpretations. So sometimes you got to get a little bit, you got to be a little bit meticulous with it. That should be done this week, and then we should have a proposal for the commission sometime next month to discuss. I'd like to get an ordinance done kind of in time for spring cleanup regarding some of the nuisance.
I was just going to ask you.
So I'm
want that.
working.
We would like to be moving some cars, but
Yep, Andrea and I are doing some research on that to see what other cities have.
Okay.
And then look at.
People have asked me
best
about
for us.
that, and I've been kind of dodging it for a while. So
No, I think that'd be good for the city. And then the only other thing that I would request that the commission consider is going to a Zoom platform for meetings in case one or more of the commissioners are away, then that everyone can attend rather than just have one person on the phone. I think it'd be like a $500 to $800 expenditure though. I've been talking to Devin on that. Because the problem right now with the phone too is you can't, except for the microphone right next to the phone, you can't, it's really hard to hear everyone else. And so that would be productive. And we're coming up on another presidential election. So in the event there's another plague that gets released, and we have to work remotely, it might be wise to have something set up where we can all do that.
okay.
But I think that'd be beneficial for everyone. It's not cost prohibitive. But yeah, that's all I have for me.
Yeah,
Okay.
we can look to pursue that. Just one of the things we want to make sure that we do is that it integrates well as what we're doing is broadcasting on YouTube and whatnot, so that if there are people online, the people online can hear and see the person that is there, as well as you commissioners. As I think some of you guys have your computers up, some of you don't. So just have to gain a mutual understanding as to what the expectations are as far as a tech setup for each commissioner. And so also we'll just have to determine which way and fashion we want to do that. So.
Okay.
Is there any update on the process with the LEC?
I'm going to sit down and meet with Bo this week on that. I've discussed with him a little bit about so there's one direction we're going, but there's different avenues in which to pursue it. So I talked with him a little bit after the meeting about that, and then we're gonna sit down and discuss what we think is the best plan moving forward this week. And so then we should have a recommendation back soon. And I forgot to mention that, so thanks for asking.
Thank you.
Anything else for anybody? No, we'll move on. And old business, we have nothing. Consent agenda, there's nothing. So first item under new business is a petition of annexation for 14th Street Northeast and 14th Avenue Northeast. Is that handled by you, Devin? Or?
Yeah, that's part of our 14th Street, 14th Avenue project we got coming up this summer, state project. As part of that, we had to acquire some land at no cost, and then just going through the process of annexing it into the city so it can be included as part of our federal funding. So I believe we got a petition, since we're now the landowners, we're petitioning to have it annexed into the city. So pretty straightforward petition.
You here to protest it, Ray? Okay. Okay. So we just need to approve it?
Yeah, I believe it just needs approval and
Make a motion to approve the
We have
annexation.
a motion by Commissioner Pierce to approve the annexation for 14th Street Northeast and 14th Avenue Northeast. Seconded by Commissioner Hamry. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, let me get back here. You got to get used to this new system here. The ordinance of annexation, okay, so now for ordinance for annexation, 14th Street Northeast and 14th Avenue Northeast.
So is that like a first?
First reading here, yep, first reading. So we really have to take no action to it. Okay, so the first reading of this is now out, and we'll have a second reading later on. Okay. Let me get back here. Oops. Okay, so third item under new business is Johnson Controls Renewal Agreement. Spencer, is that?
Yep. So this is just the renewal agreement of our the renewal of our 3-year agreement with Johnson Controls for the fire alarm detection, monitoring, and maintenance. So, and given what we currently pay them, and from the information I'm able to gather, this is in a similar ballpark. So just renewal of that 3-year agreement.
Okay, let's see, where's the cost at?
This is for the
$546?
This is for the yeah.
Oh, wait.
It's 546 or 500 and change for the city hall, and as well for the senior center.
Senior center, I see it,
So-
okay,
A little over $1,000.
okay.
Has that increased very much, or has that stayed within?
No, that's pretty close.
No, it's in the same ballpark.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Motion by Commissioner Pierce to approve.
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Hatch. Any discussion? Not, roll call?
Commissioner Robin?
Aye.
Commissioner Pierce?
Aye.
Commissioner Hack?
Aye.
Sorry, Commissioner Hamry?
Aye.
Commissioner Hash?
Aye.
President
Aye.
Moe?
Motion approved. Okay, let's see here now. Fireworks, I think. Let me get here. Oh, boy. Lots of paper. Okay. There we go. We have a fireworks display agreement and setting the date with J&M Displays.
President Moe, members of the commission, so just looking for your approval of the agreement and setting the date for the fireworks show. Spoke to the vendor about prices, and we're looking at $22,500. We budgeted $22,000, so it shouldn't be an issue. We can just do a budget amendment at the end of the year. And if you feel inclined to approve, we'll also need to set a date for the show. The default in the agreement was Tuesday the 4th, but if you would like to see a different date, just let us know. We'll get that changed. And the agreement that they sent over, the previous city attorney had reviewed it, so just went through his memo, and the only change was the setting of the if there was litigation, it would be in North Dakota versus Iowa, which is what they have. I think I sent that to you, right, Jack? Yeah. So that was the only.
So
It's a standard boilerplate provision, but.
is 4th of July, you say, is a Tuesday this year?
Tuesday.
It is, yeah.
Well, that's a ugly thing, but
I don't see, if keeping it within tradition, I don't see any problem with it being on the 4th of July personally.
most people like it on that same day.
Yeah. I mean, because there's gonna be other things going on the weekend anyway, probably out at the casino, out at the Cove and all that out, so it kind of gives them more options in my eyes.
Well, let's-
I'll make a motion to go with the agreement and leave the date as July 4th for the event.
Okay, Commissioner Robbins has moved to keep it on the July 4th day. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Pierce. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay. Any citizen comment? None here. Our finance report, is there anything on that, Spencer, you want to talk about, or just?
I would just
note it?
I would just note the 1.152 million from, in Prairie Dog infrastructure money that we received in February. So
One,
the two-
1.25?
1.152,
1.152
I believe. That was the number.
infrastructure, okay.
So I would just
Okay.
note that that was received, and then also just to, on this list of bills is about $750,000 worth of bond payments to Northland Trust Services for the various bonds that we have.
Well, do we have a motion to pay the list of bills?
Make a motion to pay the bills as listed.
Commissioner Pierce,
Second.
has made a motion, second by Commissioner Hamry. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Robbins?
Aye.
Commissioner Pierce?
Aye.
Commissioner Hamry?
Aye.
Commissioner Hash?
Aye.
President Mo?
Aye. Motion carries. Anything else to come before the commission tonight? If not, meeting adjourned.